Welcome, everyone, to the weekly press conference with North Carolina Central University head football coach Trei Oliver. Coach, first, congrats on the win. Have you recovered from Saturday yet?
I have, but Kyle, if we could, before we get started, I had a dear friend of mine and staff worker, Dale Perkins, was in a very serious car accident Friday night. So if you all would, please keep him and his family in your thoughts and prayers. It's going to be a long road for recovery for him, but dear friend and was a great man, has been in a program for many years. But with that said, Kyle, I'm sorry. Go ahead now. What's the question?
Yeah, no, very deserving to acknowledge Daryl. So we're definitely thinking of him. Yes, Saturday. You said you've recovered. So if you could just take us back to Saturday and what was that like?
Yeah, we played a very good Campbell football team, an electric atmosphere in our stadium. I thought our fans were very engaged, and it was a packed house. Tough game. I thought we got started off, that wasn't our brand of football that we started off the game with the first half. Bunch of, quick scores that we gave up. We gave a block punt for touchdown. It was just not our brand of football. But I thought once we settled down after halftime, we came back out. We limited the penalties. I think we had 6 penalties in the first half and cleaned that up going in after halftime. But I was very encouraged with the way our guys played in the second half. We didn't panic. The coaches made great halftime adjustments. And the guys, they had the thermostat mentality. We were down bad early in the game, but nobody panicked. And you didn't see the panic on the sidelines with our staff or our student athletes. So I was very pleased to see that. And I challenged you guys before the game. I said, this game right here is going to test the culture of our team. And it did. We were down early in the game, and nobody dropped their heads, nobody pointed fingers. The guys just kept playing. So I was very pleased to see that. And fortunately, we came out and got the game in overtime and came out victorious. So very pleased with where we were at the end of Saturday night.
All right, our first question is from Lawrence Davis. Go ahead, Lawrence.
Hey, Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm well. Nice hairdo.
I appreciate it. I'm moving around today, so I apologize. My camera's not on. I know you guys had that fourth fumble right before halftime. What was the talk like in the locker room around halftime? And then what did the comeback do for this team's confidence?
Yeah, it was really an interception. And I thought it was a great call by defensive coordinator, Coach Cord. Jason Chambers made a tremendous play driving on the football. It was interception. But we were down 35-14 at that point. And after he made that play, that got it to a 2-possession game and gave us a lot of momentum going into halftime. We go into halftime, make some adjustments. We come out, defense holds them, and offense scores. So the crowd was really in the game, and momentum is such a big thing in college sports, or anything. But we got the momentum and never looked back and kept it rolling. But Jason Chambers, that was probably definitely the play of the game.
Davey has talked about on multiple occasions that he was never really the fastest person growing up, and now he's a solid runner. He's just tied the record for rushing touchdowns in a game. From your perspective, what is that process like as a quarterback to know when exactly to tuck it and run?
Coach Leone does a great job with some of the quarterback design runs and how do we attack people. But whenever you talk about the running game, and everybody talks about Mookie, Collier and the success that we have in the running game, but it starts up front. Coach Cedric Williams has the O-line prepared every week, and we have some young guys up there on the O-line. Trey Humphreys, Noah McKinney, Brian Hardy, walk-on young man, and he's starting for us right now. But it starts up front with the offensive line. And, I take my hat off to those guys because Campbell was a very, very big and physical team. And I thought we were able to move the line of scrimmage. And Davius and Mookie and Jamari Taylor, all had, great days rushing football.
Gotcha. And the last thing, out of all the positive things that happened in the second half, what really impressed you the most?
Probably the crowd. Our fans were engaged. There was a couple of times I couldn't hear in the headset, and the student section was rocking. So it was just a team effort. And when you're down and you look on the sidelines, nobody was holding their head. And guys really believe. We talk about be great, and being great, it starts with belief. And, that's just a testament to our staff. I can't say it enough. I got a great coaching staff. I don't call plays. Those guys do a great job. And we just kept chomping at the bit and kept working, and clawed our way back into the game. And I'm just so proud of what we've been able to accomplish.
I wanted to ask you about pulling out a close one here. The last closest game you had was that 2-score game against A&T. What's it do for the squad to gut out a tight, nasty, close team like that moving forward?
We've been tested in all ways, shapes, and form. I mean, you play a rival, North Carolina A&T, and then, we get obviously tested when we go to LA, and we have to go to a back-to-back long trip to Mississippi Valley on the road. And then you have a Campbell team that, they blew us out last year. And then we were down 3 scores. And our guys could have looked at it and said, it's going to be like last year. But that just shows the fight in our guys and, how we're built. I'm just so proud of the guys, man. And we talk about playing. If something good happens, keep playing. If something bad happens, keep playing. And we're going to play for 60 minutes or however long it takes. And it took a little longer than 60 minutes, but we should have had something left in the tank because we didn't show up the first quarter. But I'm very pleased. I got to give a shout out to my strength coach, TC, and our staff. Our guys are in great shape. And we spent a lot of time in the weight room. And I think it showed in that fourth quarter. They had a bunch of guys that went down in the fourth quarter. And I think our guys were really just getting started.
Wanted to ask you about facing this Elon squad here. Campbell just faced them. I don't think you've had a chance to dig too deep into the tape, but from what you've seen, what can you take from that game with Campbell and what the Phoenix did to the Campbells that you can maybe capitalize on?
Late night last night watching the film, in the early morning this morning. So gotten through most of the film. Still got some more stuff to look at, but coach over there does a great job, man. And they have a great program. They were a top 25 team last year. Defensively, they cause problems. And, Coach Edwards was here, the defensive coordinator. He was on staff here years back. And coach does a really good job. But they're talented up front with their D-line and their linebackers. And offensively, very physical up front. Their offensive line is big, physical, like we just saw this past week. The quarterback does a great job of taking care of the football. So it'll be another week, man. It'll be another week that we gotta come to play and play well. But this is part of our schedule. We wanted to schedule a tough non-conference schedule so that people can understand, that we're a good football team and we're worthy of whatever praise or awards our guys get.
I wanted to ask you about one particular guy, if I could drill down on that Elon squad. It seems like no matter what they do, Jalen Hampton is going to find a way to get 80, 100-plus yards a game. Are you looking at stacking the line, stopping the run, or is it a case where you said, like years past, hat on a hat and let your guys up front do their job?
We've got to be able to – our run fits have got to be just about perfect this week. This guy is a physical running back. Their offensive line is big and athletic. He reminds me a whole lot of our running back, Latrell, Mookie, Collier. So similar type running game. He's a downhill guy. And our offenses are really similar. So, but we're going to have to do a great job of getting Hass to the football and tackling this young man. He is very physical. He's powerful. He runs through defenders, breaks arm tackles. So we're going to have to put our chest on him and get Hass to the football. But I like to watch him play. I like watching good football, and he's a very good running back.
Let's see. Next question, Byron Paris. Go ahead, Byron.
How you doing, Coach?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing good. You talked about being back in O'Kelly, and how the crowd kept you in it. Can you explain what that crowd does for you as a team, especially not being there for 3 games?
Yeah, we haven't been on the road. We've been on the road for quite a few weeks now, and it's just comfortable being back where you practice and being back in a home hotel. And then when all the guys' families can come to the game, the students can come to the game, and we have faculty and staff that are there. It's a great feeling when you're at home. A lot of times I can't really hear the noise and hear what's going on because I have a headset on and I'm so locked in. But you score, you get a score or something like that, a big play, and you feel it. You can feel it. And It's nothing like it. And I know the guys thrive off of it. They love it. And that gets them going. So it's nothing like being back at home, man, in the nuts.
And then you talked about the offensive line. What I saw, they were the best from start to end. They were the best in the game. They opened holes up. They gave Davius time to go through his reads. Can you explain, coaching wise, what it took for what you saw and how you dealt through that, and how you schemed for the defensive line?
Yeah, those are the guys that are unsung heroes. And, the O-line, they never get their name in the paper. They don't have stats and, they're not scoring touchdowns or getting tackles and all that stuff. The only time you hear from them is when you give a whole lot of sacks. So, when you can give a quarterback like Davius time and we have the receiving core like we had, people going to struggle, trying to stop us. So, we still have to get better. I think that we have to do a better job of finishing blocks and we got a ways to go across the board. But I've seen our O-line improve tremendously over the past 3 or 4 weeks.
Davius, he was selected to the Legacy Bowl. Can you, as a coach, just how do you feel about him being him?
It's a great opportunity. Doug Williams and Shaq Harris and the Legacy Bowl committee, they do a great job with that. It's first class. The guys get Legacy Bowl rings and they get to keep their helmets and all the gear. It's unbelievable experience. And the food down there is outstanding as well. But for him to be selected, I think it was, I want to pronounce the name wrong, Musa, the quarterback from FAM. They were the first 2 to get invited. That's a huge honor, for you to be the first 2 in HBCU to be invited to the Legacy Bowl. But it's an honor. I know he's excited about it, about playing in it. And I'm sure there'll be a couple other games that he gets invited to. But for your peers to recognize you and to honor you and invite you to that game, that's huge.
Next question is from Kate Rogerson. Go ahead, Kate.
Coach, you all have an opportunity this upcoming week to go undefeated, playing teams in the state of North Carolina before the MEAC. Just wondering if you could speak towards the emotions and the impact of playing so many in-state opponents and performing well against them.
There's some really, really good football being played in the state of North Carolina. From NC State, obviously Duke, obviously Carolina. It's some really good ball being played in the state. And I think a lot of my scheduling, when I put the schedule together years before, we wanted to play these in-state opponents because obviously they're quality opponents, 1. And 2, our fan base can come out and follow our team and I have to fly across the country or go to Texas or Louisiana or wherever the case name might be. But our fans can have opportunity to go to Elon and we can pack the house out and play a formidable opponent in Elon.
And going off of Saturday's win, an emotional game, a really big mental game, how do you prepare your team to kind of bounce back so quickly, but potentially have another emotional close game back-to-back weeks?
That's football. That is football, and that's what it's about. I'm appreciative that we were able to be on the winning side of this thing. It's a lot easier to bounce back and get ready for the next week after a win. But we know the task at hand and we know how good of a football program Elon is. So our guys will definitely be ready. They know that we have to play much better starting the game. We cannot be down 3 scores, 21 points to Elon. We cannot do that. But we're excited. Like I said, it's like looking in the mirror. They like to run the ball and control the clock. And we're going to run the ball first and foremost, and then from there we'll put it in the air. But we are definitely excited, and our guys are excited for this matchup this weekend.
Next question is from JB. Rex, go ahead, JB.
I just wanted to ask you, we got Mookie coming up, getting ready to speak with us, and he is leading the MEAC in rushing right now, and he has been very consistent throughout the beginning of this season. Can you speak on his production and how important he has been to this offense? We know how good Davius is at the quarterback position, but Mookie has kind of been that unsung hero for your guys' offense this year. Can you just speak on the production and how important he is to your success on that ball?
Yes, and I think if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. You've got to be able to run the football to win. And I don't care what level you're on. That's just my philosophy. We can go back and look at the Celebration Bowl last year. in overtime, excuse me, at the end of the game, in overtime, we did not throw the ball one time. We put the ball in his hands and let him lead us to victory in championship. This year, the same thing, doesn't change. We have to be able to run the ball. So I think our offensive line, like I said, has been growing and coming along well. But he is a workhorse, and that's who we're gonna lean on. If we have to run him 30 times a game, I know he can handle it. And I think the best thing, excuse me, about him, and I've been, all the NFL scouts that have been coming here looking at him, he's better without the ball in his hands as far as us giving it to him. He's great in pass protection. He's great out the backfield catching the ball. So he's just an all-around back. He's a workhorse, and he's a blue-collar guy. He never complains. Whatever he's asked to do, he does it. And I'm glad I don't have to tackle him.
So how you doing, Mookie?
Good, sir. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. If you could just start off telling us, what was Saturday like?
Man, it was great. It was no better feeling. We've been on the road for, I think, 3 weeks straight, and it was just great to be back home in front of our home crowd and just in the nest. We always preach that, when we in the nest, we here to protect it. And before the game, Romeo Stansel, one of our seniors, was just talking about, go out there and play for your why. We knew it was going to be a hard game, and that, Campbell was a great team and capable of putting up points. So, the offense we got to be prepared for a shootout. But he was just saying, play for your why. And whenever it got down, when we was down 21, we never had no doubt. We had faith in ourselves and belief in what we've been, going through this whole year. And once we got to overtime, I said I feel like everybody knew that we was gonna come out victorious just because of our belief and how we had faith in one another, and we kept saying, play for your why, play for your why. And then once you play for your why and what you're doing it for and who you're doing it for, everything else is gonna take care of itself. So once that overtime came, they scored. They say offense out there. we had to go out there and make plays. So on that first play, it was crazy. And I just want to give all glory to my O-linemen and the guys that was on the perimeter, the receivers and tight ends. They did a great job on the perimeter and getting me up to the second level. And once that Trei Simpkins made a great block, and I saw the end zone from there, I said, I have to get in there. And I had to get in there. And once we, got in there, I had faith in Oliver, our kicker, was going to make it, and he was going to seal the victory for us, sir.
All right, our very first question from Lawrence Davis. Go ahead, Lawrence.
Hey, Latrell, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, sir. How are you?
I'm good. I apologize. I'm moving around today, so I'm not by the camera right now. But kind of secretly, I feel like over the last 3 games, your blocking is something that's really stood out. Has really improved. You're doing a better job of really blocking and chipping before routes. Has that been a focus of yours this season to really improve in the blocking aspect?
I mean, I'm just one of those type of guys that I'm never satisfied with anything, and that's something that I've been working on over the off season and this whole season, just working on to be a better player without the ball in my hands. And if that involves me in a pass protection or I'm out there blocking for Davius, I just want to be the best person I can be to help this team solidify a victory. And I just know that whenever my time may come, that I hopefully, God willingly, I play at the next level and either, NFL or whatever the case may be, that I know that it's a pass protection is vital. So that's something I've been working on, and Coach Maurice been teaching the running backs well with great technique. So like I said, that's just something that I feel like that is you need for a running back, sir.
I respect that. And then I know you've also been doing a good job of mentoring guys. I know, I see you talking to guys on the sidelines. How have you seen younger running backs like Jamari grow and really bounce back? I know he's had some tough times in his career, but he's really starting to flourish. How have you kind of seen him grow as a person, or other running backs as well?
Oh, it's great. Just know, I kind of tell them about how my time has been since I've been here, that it wasn't the easiest, and that y'all just gotta just keep going and have faith and just believe in yourself. You've been doing this for forever, so just have faith in yourself and belief, and that everything else is going to take care of itself. And just talking to guys like that, when I'm out there, they asking me, what do I see? and being able to come back off the field and relate that to them, it helps them. So whenever they go out there, okay, now they say, okay, this is what he was seeing. So, okay, I know what, what this person is going to do or that person is going to do. But it's just been great seeing Jamari grow. He's a great guy, great running back, and he's going to continue to grow and be better. And I'm thankful to be able to share the same backfield with him, sir.
Question from Chris Clark. Go ahead, Chris.
Good to see you again there, Mookie. Wanted to ask you what it means to win these tough ones like this, these tight ones. Usually it's, you guys on top by 2 scores and, rolling away with it. What does it do for you guys to gut one out like this, if you would?
Yes, sir. It's just going to show us, like, what our culture about, what our team really about. Like you said, we had some games where we run by, a pretty great margin, but the games like this is going to tell us what we're really about. Like I had stated earlier, we was down 21. We could have easily, just caved in and said, okay, like Coach Oliver stated earlier, it's going to be like last year. But Jason Chambers did a great job with an interception and us going down there and scoring. That brought, and we was getting the ball out of halftime. That momentum just changed. And like I said, this whole team, we all about culture and we believe in one another. So when the defense out there, and we was down 21, we said, okay, they're going to get a stop. When the offense out there, they believe in us that we was going to get a score. So it's all about believing in one another. And that's why this culture is so special and this team's so special, because we have faith in one another and what the coaches are providing for us for the game plan, sir.
And if you could take me through that last touchdown run, that wasn't from 3 or 5 yards out where guys get that first through and make contact and push through. You were a good 10, 15. I mean, what were you thinking after you made it through the line and got hit that first time? Because you were definitely not going down with one person on you.
So once the defense has, Campbell had scored, they had to block a field goal. I'm like, what extra point? I'm like, okay, now it's the offense turn to go out there and we can solidify the victory with this win. So beforehand, even before the game, I'm a huge believer in, God and faith. So I prayed. I just said, I want to be able to make a difference out here. I want to be able to, whatever it is, whether it's blocking or in protection, or I'm blocking for a devious on a quarterback design run, give me the strength to go out here and make a difference and help this team, solidify a victory. And Coach Leone called a great play. And like I said, the O-line did a great job. Torselli Simpson, he had pulled, did a great job, great block. The receivers and tight end did a great job as well. So once I got past the Torselli's block that he had a kick out block, I said, man, okay, I see the end zone. I'm like, okay. I felt like I was getting a little stronger. So it was just that willpower and just playing for your why, and just wanting to get in the end zone. Once I saw the end zone and I felt like, okay, I can get there. I was like, yeah, I need to score. So I was pretty excited that I had the opportunity to go out there and do it. And it's just one of those plays that you always like, as a kid, you just pray for, like, we at home, the crowd is going crazy. It's a tough game. We in overtime. And you just like, man, just imagine the stories you're going to be able to tell, further on down the road whenever we come back for any type of, Hall of Fame inductee. If we, fortunate to get that you could go, just saying how you could just say, man, you remember that Campbell game, when this happened. So it was just great. Because like I said, those type of memories, you're always going to remember. And that game is something that's going to be with us forever.
So you're saying to save the highlights for the induction is what you're telling me right now. A little foreshadowing here. Is that what it is?
No, just hopefully, maybe, the team or something can get that in the future or something. So
I gotcha. I got one last question now. Bluefield is 2-3 overall, 2-0 in conference play. They take on Pikeview. Any words of wisdom or what's your prognostication on what they're going to do this week there against Pikeview back in your old hometown?
Oh, yes, sir. We didn't really start the season off the way we wanted to, but I felt like we, us Bluefield Beavers, we never give up. We believe, and that's our motto at Bluefield is we believe. And we're on doing a great job right now. Sincere Fields playing really great. RJ Harrison playing great. We have some guys that's doing great things. And only thing that I could really tell them is what Coach Oliver tell us. When something good happens, keep playing. When something bad happens, keep playing. For forever, however long it takes for them to solidify this victory. So go out there, play for your brother, play for your why, and let's get a victory this weekend.
Question is from Kate Rogerson. Go ahead, Kate.
So you just mentioned playing for your why a few times. Does the entire team share the same why? Does everyone have personal whys? Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes, well, it's really just personal wise. Before we start football the season, when we were in camp, Coach Leone, our offensive coordinator, have us just say our why, and it's just sharing that why amongst your teammates and people knowing your why. It's great because now you see why people go away, going about things the way they do, whether that's in the football field or life, and that's getting to know your brothers. So it's just great to be able to hear other people's whys, because not only are you playing for yours, you're playing for theirs as well. So knowing, like I said, their why and why they're doing the stuff they're doing, it's great because that just helps you go harder for them as well.
You guys are coming off a really big, really emotional win versus Campbell. Now you have another tough test against Elon. How do you continue to battle adversity, stick to your culture, and battle your why all in the span of 7 days every day? Like, how do you guys just stay so focused with these tough games week in and week out?
Well, like Coach Oliver said, the tough games are, what we wanted out of conference games, and playing these tough opponents is only going to set us for great things during conference. But we knew that Campbell was going to be a great team, and it was going to be a hard fought game. And we know the same thing with Elon. From an offensive perspective, like their defensive coordinator, he used to be here a couple years back, and he been doing a great job this year. Hats off to him. And I just saw where last weekend they just beat a top 5 team in William Mary that had a great, a good offense. So these are the games that you kind of like, you live for, like these great games that everybody's gonna be watching, like have a little bit of doubt. They don't know what type of team we are because they feel like we haven't really been tested. But we've throughout this whole season we've been tested. So I feel like we're excited for this opportunity this weekend, and I can't wait, man.
Mookie, Kate just asked you about the why, and you explained very well about the team's why and what that is meaningful to you. If you don't mind, and it may be too personal, and you don't feel that you have to share this, but do you mind sharing your why?
Yes, sir. So my why is my brother, my mom, and my nephew. Growing up, I never really had, everything. My father was incarcerated most of my life, so my mom has been someone that I've always loved. She's the strongest person I know, and I appreciate her for everything that she's done in my life. And there's been times where she had to, I didn't see her sometimes, at night because she had to work long hours to provide for my brother and I. And during that time, my brother was like that father figure to me. He's 5 years older than me, and they done everything in their might to help me get to where I am today. So without them, I wouldn't be here. So I thank God every day for them. And my nephew, he'll be 10 this upcoming December. And I just want to be somebody that's a positive role model for him. He could say, he likes, LeBron James or, guys like that. But I want him to be able to say, my uncle is, Mookie Collier. And I could, he's doing this, not just on the field, but he's doing this in life as well. So I want to be that positive role model for him and just help him achieve everything that he wants in life. But those 3 are my why, and also just being from Bluefield, West Virginia is my why. Not a lot of people make it out where I'm from. So I just want to be in exception and be somebody that people can look up to and say, okay, I know this guy and he did this. So he laid the blueprint for us. So if I follow, what he did, I could be where he at, if not further than, where he at. So that's my why. And I'm all about, just serving my larger purpose. I feel like my calling on this earth from God is to invest back into others as they did me, because without the people in my community help me get to where I am today, I wouldn't be here. So that's my why, and I carry that with me throughout my day and throughout my life, sir.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Kate has another question. Go ahead, Kate.
Again, thanks for sharing that. Just curious, you mentioned your family. How often are they able to come to games and see you and support you in person?
So, like I said, I'm from Bluefield, West Virginia, and that's really like at the south of West Virginia, so right there at the border. So I'm about 3.5, 4 hours away from here. And with it being my, my last collegiate season, they try to make as many games as they can. Of course, not the ones like maybe Howard or Morgan State, but the ones like they was here this past weekend, and then Elon, I think they're gonna be at that one. So they try to make as many of they as they can, and I understand, the ones that they can't because with traveling and everything. But definitely having them at the game is something I look forward to every weekend. Just being able to see my mom, my brother, and my nephew after the game and see the smiles on their face, and have my nephew, critique me on. I had a drop pass this past weekend. I was wide open and I dropped it, and he was just like, "Where's my 25 push-ups because you dropped it?" And stuff like that, I look forward to after every game, whether we win or if it's a loss. Seeing them, it makes me smile and keeps me going, man.
That had to make that overtime touchdown that much more special to know that they were there, right?
Yes, sir.
And were you able to share a moment with them, after the game? And what was that like?
I was. It was great because I haven't really had the 100-yard games that I've been maybe putting as my goals as this season. But I know that it's not all about what I want. It's about what's right for the team, and whether that's me out there going for 2 yards and I'm blocking most of the game, or if I have 100 yards receiving and have 0 yards rushing. It's all about the team. So when I see them after the game and I talk to them, it's great because my mom, she's going to be the one that's going to critique me and tell me the things that I got to do better, and the things that I kind of did good with. My brother's going to be the same way, and my nephew's going to tell me the ones that I need to do better on. But just being able to share that bond with them as far as like what I need to improve on, and what I need to kind of do, or what I should have did this or that is great. And after that run, and she was just so proud. My mom was proud, and she almost was in tears because she was just like this. She just believes in me, and she just wants nothing but the best out of me.
Since the Jackson State game, you've kind of gained a reputation as Mr. Stiff Arm, and we've seen it a few times more this season. Saw a highlight from the I believe Mississippi Valley game as well. And then of course we saw you break about 4 or 5 tackles on your way to the end zone in overtime. Where does that come from? How is it that you've been able to be so efficient with your stiff arming and just breaking tackles?
Man, it's just like I said, it's the will. Just going out there, and we work on this every day. At practice with our running backs coach, Coach Maurice. We work the stiff arm. We work, running through contact, running through, arm tackles and stuff like that. And it's just having that mentality, not one man, can take you down. And Coach Leone always preached about, we're going to get these guys blocked. If y'all able to make one guy miss, the rest is, going to be great. But we work these drills every day, as far as contact and stiff arm. So then whenever, it's out there on the field, it's basically like routine stuff that we do every day, sir.